Hello Intuitors, it's Aria here and welcome to the Intuit Cafe. My plan in the weeks and the months ahead is to release a weekly reading by the sign of the zodiac, and in that reading I'll start out with a card spread that will give me like kind of a story, what the situation is, and then I'll be asking what are the blocks, what are the things that are preventing this situation from moving forward. Then at the end of that, you're going to have the opportunity to choose from 4 different action outcomes that might be the possible guidance for you at this time. And this is where I really am excited about giving you the opportunity to learn and hone your own intuition, to pick a reading that will either at that time help you know what's the best course of action to take or what's a course of action to avoid. Another way that you can use the readings at the end is if you're watching it and you're wondering what someone of that sun sign might end up doing at that time, then you can set the intention that whatever reading that you're guided to watch will be the most likely action or outcome that they take at this time, and it can kind of give you some insights on how things might progress in the future. So the way I view divination and utilizing your intuition to find or divine the kinds of information that are brought forth in readings like this is that basically once the reading is created, it's in the collective consciousness to an extent. And it has a specific frequency based on whatever it contains. So whatever frequency you yourself are tuned into at that time is like a certain trajectory. It's the direction that you're headed. And I really believe that as time goes on and you start learning how to tune into your own intuition, you truly will have the opportunity to attract the reading that has the most pertinent information for you at that time. And the same thing also works if you're watching this reading in regards to someone else. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, so this whole scenario really matches up to I know what's happening, but I don't have any control over what actions they take. And then you're asking your higher knowing to show you the reading that has the most likely match to where their frequency is at this time. And that's why you can end up getting a message that will be predictive of their next move. That rather than just saying, here's a general reading for everybody, it's saying, here's a starting point for everyone who's watching. If that starting point doesn't match up for you at this time, then maybe go watch a different sign of the zodiac, maybe your moon or your rising sign. But if it does resonate with you at this time, then you have the opportunity to pick the action or the outcome that are most in tune with where your trajectory is headed based on the frequency you're at. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into today's reading. Here's what we've got for you today, or actually for this week. The first cards that come up are the bird and the clouds, and then we have the snake in the center, then the tree and the road. So the birds and the clouds together talk about arguments, mixed messages coming through, like not understanding each other, disagreements, even like a heated exchange, or it really just talks about communication in general that has been not going really well. Not even communication, maybe just this interaction. It also talks about being confused and scattered, because the clouds is about confusion and the birds they have the tendency to just fly off and be scattered. And it even could be about being addicted to negative thinking patterns, especially when it's paired with a negative card. And because we have the snake in the middle, which is definitely a negative card under most circumstances, it's casting this over the whole entire spread. So I think for those of you who this message is really meant for today, you know what I'm talking about. You know who this is in regards to. And it feels to me like it's really been going on a long time because we have the tree here. I also just want to say, because I keep forgetting to say this, but if you were getting into this message right now and then it isn't resonating with you, then just hop over to watch one of your other signs, maybe your moon or rising or your Venus sign, just in case this one isn't resonating. But for those of you who it is, there's a very, it's important. Whatever is being brought up here, even though it's not fun to look at, it's definitely something that needs to be considered. The tree and the road together talk about making a change and saying actually that you're on the right track in it. So it's interesting to me because this this is not a very pretty picture here, but the tree and the road together say there's positive growth in whatever direction you've chosen. So, and also you're just being urged to stick with the direction that you're going. And I'm feeling like a lot of you have already tried or actually made some moves. You have made some moves to shift out of this situation. And maybe you're just not seeing the results yet that you want to see. Like you've done some work toward it, maybe not enough, maybe you should do more, because there's this sense of, you know, continuing to grow in that direction. But there is assurance here that you're on the right track with that, but you just need to stick with it. And these kinds of things are going to improve over time. You know, for example, maybe for some of you this really is about a situation you need to leave behind, and so you already know that. Maybe you've even taken steps to do that, but you haven't completed that process. So then that's what you're being encouraged to do. If some of you, it's that you're in this situation and you really need to stick it out and you know, fix it, then whatever steps it is that you've made the decision to do that, and the steps you're taking are the right ones, but there's just going to take some unfolding over time to make that happen. The tree and the clouds mirror each other, so we look at those together, and that does talk about uncertainty in regards to this, you know, the tree being everything that you've set up in place, or the decisions you've made, and everything that's been building. There's uncertainty about that, but there is assurance that you're on the right track. You just may not see that right now. The road and the birds together, however, do suggest that you do have a decision that does need to be made, and if you haven't made the decision already, then you are being asked to. So I do feel, though, even though these two together say this is the right track, there are some of you who you know what that right track is, but you just haven't like actually gone in there and made that decision. Let's take a look at these ones. So it does look like some of the arguments and the confusion could be around money, but it does also say that this communication and this arguing and everything has definitely been a burden. And the cross comes up here, the house of the cross, and so the fish is about money, the cross here. It's been a burden, that's been a trial for both of you. The snake is in the house of the writer. By the way, I never really talked about the snake. The snake has, you know, the snake can be you know, backbiting, especially when we're talking about the snake and the birds together. That does talk about like really, you know, bitter arguments and like a lot of contention. And with the clouds too, there's just like this overall kind of confusion hanging around the situation. It's causing a lot of confusion. And, you know, overall just not a good situation. It's kind of poisonous or toxic even. The snake is in the house of the writer, so I feel like there's a lot of momentum right now, a lot of movement, maybe even some new information about the snake or this person that's, you know, this toxic person. There's maybe some new information coming up to be looked at in this. Jealousy, the birds and the snake can talk about jealousy, also about like that appearances are deceiving. So with some of you, it could be you think you've thought this person is just fine, or even I'm getting gaslighting. This person is saying, hey, everything's fine. I don't know what your problem is. Why do you have an issue with this? It's you. You're making it up, or you're crazy. And so that's where like the appearances, they're trying to make it look like it's better than it is or whatever. But whatever is going on, there's a lot of it behind your back that's quite malicious, and someone is truly plotting something. And I'm feeling like this writer comes up because of that plotting. There's movement. Like they're deliberately taking action. It's not like they're just sitting here back and like kind of stuff is happening around them. They're really doing something about all of this negativity. I'm feeling that for most of you, this is a situation that definitely needs to just, you're going to need to cut away. The tree comes up in the house of the clouds. So where you did have an uncertainty before, you're now having the certainty that yes, this is the direction I should go. So it could be some of you are watching this and you're like, you know, man, I didn't even see this. I didn't know. I mean, but now that you're saying it, I realize it's feeling like truth inside of me. That's one of the things too, that when you're really working on your intuition and developing your intuition, learning to trust your body, and that your body itself will tell you, if you listen to it, what does that feel like down in your gut. And maybe in the past, because you were listening to the gaslighting so much, or you just, you know, like you have this programming that you can't leave, or you have to stick it out, or whatever, that you, with this person, and this is not necessarily a love relationship, this could be any kind of, you know, person in your life that you know what this is about right now, but you've had a sense of unease about it, but it's only maybe now that you're really realizing, oh my goodness, now I'm clear. I was unclear before, but now I see. This has been going on a very long time. The tree is about things that have happened really a long time in the making, and now you're having that clarity, and it is time to make the decision. And the decision comes up in the house of the dog, which is the friend and loyalty. One of the things it's saying is, where do your loyalties really lie? Do they lie more with this person and your relationship with them, or do they lie with you? Are you going to be more loyal to them than your own self? And that's a decision that needs to be made here. Or it could be that you have a friend who could really support you in making this decision, or it could be that this is just about a person who you thought was your friend, but they're really more of a snake, or maybe some kind of combination of all of those. So very, very interesting spread here for whoever this is meant for. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned here, because right now you're going to see 4 different videos come up on the screen, and they're all suggested action and outcomes that could either show you what you could do or what the other person might do. Really set your intention toward that. And if you're watching this and you want to see what the other person will do, then ask that your intuition guide you to show you what their most likely action would be. Or if it's about you and an action you should take, then make that your intention. And thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you around.